Hi guys, this is Leslie. I want to thank you for checking in today. This is, um, if you are new to my channel, you may notice or see that I don't normally talk about this kind of topic. I do think it's important in light of what is going on in our country to kind of change things up, and talking about frugal decisions or target shopping might not seem like the most important. So I want to acknowledge that. I also want to acknowledge that one of the things that we cannot talk about right now, or that I don't want to talk about right now, or because I can't, is if people are suffering from the medical aspect of this crisis, because obviously that is the most important thing. This is strictly all the non medical information. I was hearing the other day, and I'm calling these things silver linings. I was hearing the other day, and I think it's an important thing to consider is what kind of everyone seems feels so out of control. Everything is just it just slammed us. I think that in where I live in Pennsylvania, Governor Wolf announced 14 days ago from today that there was going to be a shutdown of schools, shutdown of businesses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just slammed in my face. I think I started catching a whiff of it, just in terms of hearing about this about a week before this. It just seems like it was in my face, in all of our faces. And I was hearing, and I think that in terms of learning how to deal with this crisis, one of the things that you have to consider is your what can you control. If you can't control what's going on in the world around you, you can control. I have notes here. I'm sorry. You can control your actions and your attitudes, and that includes your long-term solutions. Um, and those are things that we do have within our control. And I do think that for now, our long-term plans should have to do with helping ourselves financially in terms of protecting ourselves as well as emotionally. And that is one of the things I said that for me, and I hope I'm not repeating myself from things that I've said before, but I think that for a lot of people, quite frankly, initially, what I'm hearing, two things I'm hearing is about the loss of money and about the boredom. And I wanted to address just the boredom aspect today. And one of the things that for me, I am one of the I am lucky that I'm able to work out of my home remotely. But I have been also saying that for people who are feeling as if they are bored, and I know that we are just stuck in the house, at least where I live, we are still allowed to go outside and go for walks. I do think that physical activity is unbelievably important. My family and I have been going out for walks once in the morning and once after dinner, just getting out. And we have a backyard that we can go out. If you live in an apartment or you cannot go outside, that may feel more restrictive. But even if you live in an apartment building, you could run up and down the steps, don't touch the railings, but you can get out to some extent or do jumping jacks in your apartment. Just get your blood moving. The other thing is that I have been ramping up the things that I'm selling on eBay. I'm not doing it to make money or to try to, I mean, I am obviously doing it to make money off the crisis, but I have the ability and the time right now to do it. So I've been doing that. I also am someone who has a lot of books. I've been trying to read more, and this is where my kids cringe whenever I suggest this. I love doing puzzles, so I have puzzles that I work on. I'm keeping myself very, very busy. We've also been binge watching some old seasons of Survivor that are on Netflix, and or that I had DVR'd actually. So we've been doing that. I've been cleaning off the DVR. I have been cleaning. I've been cleaning and getting a lot of stuff done. If you're someone who's already pretty clean and organized in the first place, that is something I aspire to. You may not be able to do that, but there's always a junk drawer that needs to be cleaned out. My son recently, yesterday, learned how to, he YouTubed it, and he learned how to fry an egg. And I think that one of the things that I find most interesting is that if you're watching this right now, you're on YouTube. There is something to learn how to do on YouTube all the time. I have decided that my youngest daughter, who is 13, is going to learn how to, well, she already knows how to sew a little bit, but she's going to be making lanyards and other things like that, that she can give out to keeping yourself busy and give out to people in senior citizens in senior citizens homes. Maybe not now because we're not allowed near them, but in the future. So you have to look at your long-term outlooks. Those are the two things that you can control. What did I just say? You can control your actions and your attitudes. So I do think, and the other thing is that you can learn something. I just was hearing on the Today Show that Rosetta Stone is hiring a lot of workers, which is something else you could do. You could get an online job, or they could, because people are, apparently have decided to use this time to learn how to learn a new language. So I would say that while there are a lot of things that are not great about this period of time, we can combat some of them if you look to the future. And again, if you don't know how to speak a foreign language, this might be the time to pick that up. It's one of those things that when you look back on this time, you will consider it a silver lining to this period of, national crisis, really. I want to say that I always remember right after I had my children with, so crazy and, you have a baby, you're up all night. I still now look back fondly at those times. So it is something that you will remember that, oh my gosh, remember how crazy it was that we were all stuck together and we couldn't, you will remember this time fondly. Again, I want to make very clear I'm not talking about people who are suffering from medical conditions because that would be very, very difficult. This is Leslie. I don't want to belabor this point anymore. I just think you have to try to combat boredom, look to the future. You will, we are going to get out of this, and you will, and you'll be on the other side, and it'll all be good. Thanks a lot for watching my channel. If you like, please comment and let me know what kind of things you might be doing to help yourself during this period. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.